Canada used to be a great place to live.
I'm tired of working harder and harder and ending up with less. Tired of paying more taxes, getting less in return. Tired of government deciding what my child learns about sex, family and everything else at school and treating me like an interfering bystander.
So who here has lost the ambition to go to work every day?
Us Canadians are getting super tired of just going to work day in and day out, never getting ahead, making sure you have all this billions of dollars to spread around the world and not think about us back at home.
Anyone else in Canada finding it hard to work a full-time job?
The corporate grind in Canada is real. People are stressed, they're frustrated, they don't want to be in that job, but they only do it because they need to make that paycheck.
Everybody keeps saying it's going to get better. How is it going to get better?
Canadians are tired. Not just tired from a long day at work, tired of the grind, tired of the endless cycle of working harder, paying more, and living less. For many, life in Canada feels like a treadmill that never stops. You work, you pay rent, you buy groceries, you cover bills, and at the end of the month, there's nothing left. No rest, no relief, no future. The dream of stability has turned into survival mode. People are exhausted from jobs that don't pay enough, housing that costs too much, and a system that demands more while giving less. It's not just about money, it's about dignity, about the feeling that no matter how hard you try, you're stuck. About the frustration of living in a country that promises opportunity, but delivers exhaustion. This isn't laziness. This isn't entitlement. This is reality. Canadians are tired of working endlessly, tired of struggling silently, tired of living in a system that feels broken. And in this video, we're going to talk about it. Not the glossy version of Canada, but the real one. The one where people are burning out, breaking down, and asking the question, is this really living?
Anyone else in Canada finding it hard to work a full-time job, but knowing that that is not enough money to survive at all anymore, and you basically have to do a side hustle or there's literally no chance to get ahead, but because of your full-time job, you are so exhausted, you don't have energy to do a side hustle, but you know if you don't, you will never be able to buy a home, have a family, or even get a friggin' cat. Or is it just me? Because this isn't fun. Okay, you're kind of like every year going down while inflation's going up, just being like, please help me.
Hey, Justin Trudeau. Just want to let you know, today was hard at work. I worked 10 hours for you. I mean, to eat a little bit, to whatever I can afford. Yeah, so good job on giving Ukraine $650 million. I mean, they've done a lot for you, right? So I'll wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow and do it all again for you, or Ukraine, or whatever you got going on. Thanks.
So I've been really tired this week, really, really tired. And I just wanted to talk about it. I've been properly tired, not the need a nap kind of tired, but the state is slowly sucking every last bit of freedom and agency out of me kind of tired. Everything's controlled, banned or about to be. I'm tired of working harder and harder and ending up with less. Tired of paying more taxes, getting less in return. Tired of government deciding what my child learns about sex, family and everything else at school and treating me like an interfering bystander. I'm tired of being told that maybe I won't even get a pension, the one that I've slogged decades for. I'm tired of owning a car that I love, but I can't actually drive it meaningfully. 24 miles an hour, wrong turn here, wrong road there, wrong day, wrong engine, flash, another fine. I'm tired of being told that my boiler has to go, that I can't fly, can't eat meat, can't burn coal, can't use petrol. Then apparently everything I learnt at medical school is now wrong think. Facts, offensive. Biology, optional. And heaven forbid that I might call a spade and feel the heavy hand of the law. And the worst bit, my daughter will grow up not even knowing the joys that she has lost. She won't drive a car, she won't own anything, she won't work in the way that we understand work, that fulfilling work. This global, overreaching, ever more autocratic and controlling government is sucking the fun and spontaneity out of life with every last ounce of freedom. It is exhausting.
So who here has lost the ambition to go to work every day? I know I have. Like, what's the point? We're working to pay bills, to pay off debt. It's stupid. I don't want to work anymore. Because money doesn't go as far as it used to. And we're just losing our lives. We're losing our freedom to go and do things we actually want to do. Because we have to go to work, pay for stuff we really don't need. There's gotta be a better way. Working sucks. It used to be good. Back when you could afford a home, you could afford a truck. Those were tangible goals to work towards. But now, you have to work twice as hard, twice as long to afford basic things. Basic things that men and women could afford 20, 30 years ago. Game is rigged. Game is up. Enjoy your life. Sell that expensive house. Pay a huge mortgage on. It's not worth it.
Are you feeling like you are burning out? If so, you are not alone. I'm Dr. Laura, an organizational psychologist and culture expert. Rates of burnout are on the rise across North America. An article I came across from money.ca talks about how Canadians are more burnt out than last year. Up to 39% of Canadians are saying they're feeling burnt out. Burnout is on a continuum, though, that we all exist on, from feeling well and healthy and dealing with the normal ups and downs of life to being ill and unable to function. And burnout is a workplace phenomenon where stresses and issues and toxicity and dysfunction and workloads that we just can't carry all pile up on us and lead to burnout. So my question for you is, what thing are you going to do and put into place to take care of your well-being through these difficult times?
Hey, Justin Trudeau, it's me again. I'm just letting you know, man. Us Canadians are getting super tired of just going to work day in and day out, never getting ahead, making sure you have all this billions of dollars to spread around the world and not think about us back at home. This is my home. I love it here. But you have made it so impossible to enjoy my life here that I want to move away. I don't know what your plan is. Well, you don't have a plan, obviously. But you are making Canadians dread living here. Maybe just, I don't know, man. You're not doing a good job. And I wish that you'd understand that not everyone is born a millionaire, into a millionaire family with butlers and food prepared for them all the time. We have to work 12 hours a day, go home, cook meals, make sure kids are fed, make sure dogs are fed, make sure there's gas in the car to go to work, to pay for all your taxes and stuff like that. Like, we're tired. We need change. Please. Thanks, man.
Day after day, Canadians wake up to the same routine: work, commute, bills, repeat. And for many, it feels less like living and more like grinding down. The hours are long, the pay is stagnant, the cost of everything keeps climbing. And the reward? Barely enough to cover rent, groceries, and utilities. It's not just physical exhaustion, it's emotional. People are tired of working harder and harder, only to feel like they're standing still. They're tired of sacrificing weekends, family time, and mental health just to keep up with a system that keeps moving the goalposts. And the irony? Canada is supposed to be one of the best places to live. But what does best mean when people are burning out, breaking down, and questioning whether they can afford to stay? This isn't laziness. This isn't entitlement. It's fatigue. Deep, relentless fatigue from a system that demands everything and gives back so little. And when exhaustion becomes the national mood, it's not just a personal problem, it's a collective crisis.
This is my first time doing one of these TikToks, but I'm here to talk about the current problems that Canadian people are having right now. Born and raised in Canada, I should say. It is practically impossible to find a job. And the jobs that you do find do not treat you well whatsoever. And, you know, the past generations might say, oh, it was like that for us too. No. You know how it is if you're in my situation, where you keep applying, and with job experience, by the way, and no one calls you back, which is just facts. I'm not being racist. No, don't take it like that at all. Good for the people that moved to Canada after birth and they have a job more easily, because I wish. But unfortunately, it's not the case for everyone, including me. So I'm just raising awareness even more than before. If you're also struggling, or you want to raise awareness for other people that you know, or, you know, whatever the reason, please share, comment, do all that. Help us find jobs, because money is important.
The corporate grind in Canada is real. People are stressed, they're frustrated, they don't want to be in that job, but they only do it because they need to make that paycheck come through so that they can cover the cost of living. It's not what they dreamed of when they were younger and they looked out into the future. Where we're at right now, the cost of living is very high. Groceries are at an all-time high. Everything is so expensive. Cars, I don't think I've even seen a car under $30,000 in about 10 to 15 years. Things are getting crazy, and it's making people feel like they have to continue working in a job that they hate. Let's just say it. Call a spade a spade. What I'm trying to tell you is there are opportunities. Put the Tim Hortons away. Moms and dads, you have an opportunity to take action today. If you truly dislike that job, if you are truly not enjoying it, I get it, you have to bring in a paycheck, but why not take some time every day and learn something new? Learn about, as I have, digital marketing that has allowed me to start an online business. I work from home now. I am you can call it a stay-at-home dad, but I run a business from home. It allows me not only just control of the work I do, but it gives me time to drop off and pick up my kids from school. It allows me to spend time at all of their activities. I miss absolutely nothing, and I still run a business. All because I found time to educate myself on the business, and I stayed consistent. Canadians, please drop me a comment and tell me what's stopping you from seeking your dreams of starting a business. What's keeping you in that 9-to-5 job that you don't like? Because I know you don't. If you were like me, you don't want to be in that job. You want to go out and start something of your own. Send me a comment. Let's hear it.
Honestly, this one's a little hard to read, and you're going to see why in a second. Please keep me anonymous. I work for social services, and our goal is to help people find work. Newcomers with different statuses in Canada apply for income support benefits. Depending on the family size, they usually receive $2,200. They also get CCB from the feds in upwards of $3,500 a month. Never mind all the other tax credits they get quarterly, such as GST, carbon tax, etc. Again, my job is to find them work. I bet you can guess how that goes when they are spending money frivolously and investing in RESPs for their children, all while paying $408 for rent and social housing. They do not understand that us staff cannot afford to do the same. Guess whose children will have savings for post-secondary? Not Canadians. A single Canadian in our program gets $850 per month to pay rent, bills, eat, etc. When I shut their files down, they call me yelling, money, 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 and I tell them I have a job. They do not understand how hard all of us have worked to get to where we are and that we are not receiving the same benefits as them. And to make matters worse, they tell me childcare is too expensive. It's $10 a day and this is why they can't work. Before this affordability grant, I paid $35,000 in childcare for 1 year. That's nearly what I took home annually. So yes, all of your professionals are right. It's insane as taxpayers. We all need to know what we're truly paying for. I'm not against immigration, but this has not been the right way for some time. This is also known as a gimmigrant. It's a person who has come to a different country in order to live there permanently and live there for free, all the benefits paid by taxpayers, and have no intentions in working or abiding with the laws of that country. If they don't get their own way, they play the discrimination or race card. Gimmigrant, immigrant, hardworking refugee, good, bad. Do you see where I'm going with this? This is not normal.
For many Canadians, life feels like survival mode. You work to pay rent. You work to buy food. You work to cover bills. And when all that's done, there's nothing left. No savings, no rest, no joy. Vacations? Out of reach. Home ownership? A fantasy. Even simple pleasures like going out for dinner or buying fresh produce feel like luxuries. So people cut back. They skip meals, they skip outings, they skip living. And slowly, the line between surviving and living disappears. The emotional toll is heavy. Stress builds, anxiety grows, burnout spreads, and people start asking themselves, is this really what life in Canada is supposed to be? Because when work consumes everything, when bills erase paychecks, when exhaustion replaces hope, life loses meaning. And that's why Canadians are tired. Not just tired from long hours, but tired of a system that makes living feel impossible. This isn't just about economics. It's about dignity, about the right to live without constant fear, without constant exhaustion, without constant struggle. And until that changes, the fatigue will only grow.
Everybody keeps saying it's going to get better. How is it going to get better? Our economy is so fucked that I work a full-time job. I make $21 an hour working 40 hours a week. I have no extra expenses, no bills out of my living. I have one credit card that's maxed because I've lived off of it. But other than that, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. We have cell phones, but, you know, that's required to live on. But other than that, nothing extra. On paper, my bills are $2,701. My income is $2,710. Do the math. $9 a month before I pay for food, gas, car repairs, any entertainment. There's no money for that. And my car is dying. It's paid for, so I don't have car payments now that I'm going to replace. And I don't know how to do that on $9 a month. $9 to feed myself, $9 to buy a car, $9 for insurance. Yeah. So at the end of the day, this is me because I worked 8.5 hours a day, knowing that it's not enough, that it won't be enough. fuck you, Ontario.
Canada used to be a great place to live. I don't know what has happened. Well, I do know what's happened over the past few years, but I'm not going to get into that. But the bottom line is that the current state of the economy, interest rates going through the roof, and inflation out of control that has made the cost of living impossible has resulted in people fleeing this country, literally packing their bags and saying goodbye to Canada once and for all because there's nothing for them here anymore. They can't afford to live here. That is horrible. I never once in my life thought that I would be in a situation whereby I would have to consider leaving my homeland in order to be able to go somewhere that is less stupid when it comes to the cost of living. I can't imagine, when I was in my 30s or even in my 40s, being in a situation that I was in last year when I was like, I might lose my home and I might have to move to a different country because I can't afford to live here anymore. The price of groceries is ridiculous. It never used to be the case that people would have to, that the vast majority of, say, middle class people would have to, go to the grocery store with a calculator, right? I mean, and look, I understand that there are certain people who've always had to do that, and my heart goes out to them, and I get that, right? But when you've got a really half-decent full-time job that you've been at for your entire life, and you're still having to and you're starting now to have to take a calculator to the grocery store because you can't afford to just choose the bread you want. You have to choose the bread that's cheaper. It's nuts. It's nuts. Like 2 bags of groceries can now be over $100. Like it's insane. And I'll tell you this. It's a really nasty pill to swallow when you realize that you've worked hard all your life and that things are now actually just going to start getting a lot harder for you rather than a lot easier. Because we are at that stage in our life right now where things should start being a lot easier for us, not being more difficult. Going out and buying a car shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. Going out and buying a home should be manageable for people who have decent jobs, right? And it's out of the realm of the possible. Like it infuriates me. And I feel so bad for the younger generation right now who don't honestly have a hope in hell. Unless they are able to, unless they have some kind of inheritance or, they grow up in very upper middle class families. But, the average person starting out now is starting out with one hand tied behind their back. And that is honestly a horrible, horrible situation to be in. I often wonder about whether this is the right country to raise my daughter in because I want her to have a future. And, right now what I'm seeing is not that promising. What I figured out is that I needed to start my own business whereby I could bring in an extra stream of income in order to be able to decide to live wherever the hell I wanted to live and not have to be a slave to the government. And now I've done that. I now have my own online business, and I didn't know shit about online businesses or, working in the digital space or anything like that. Like I knew nothing about that, and I didn't have any education to support an online business or, marketing or finance and certainly not IT. My God, no. And certainly not social media either. But I finally cracked the nut because I found a program that is designed for people with zero experience and who have a burning desire to change their life. If that's you, just reach out to me in the comments, type ready, or go to the link in my bio and find out more.
So, here we are. We've heard the voices. We've seen the exhaustion. We've felt the frustration. This is Canada in 2025. Not the glossy postcard version, not the tourist brochure, the real version, the version where millions of people are tired. Tired of working, tired of struggling, tired of living in a system that feels broken. Because this isn't just about long hours. It's not just about bills. It's not just about inflation. It's about fatigue. Deep, relentless fatigue. The kind that seeps into every part of life. The kind that makes people question whether this is really living. For decades, Canada sold itself as a land of opportunity. A place where hard work meant stability. Where education meant a career. Where immigrants could build a future. But today, that promise feels hollow. People are working harder than ever, and yet they're falling further behind. They're exhausted from jobs that don't pay enough, housing that costs too much, and a system that demands more while giving less. And the result? A nation that feels tired. Not just physically tired, emotionally tired, spiritually tired. Tired of the grind, tired of the cycle, tired of pretending everything is fine when it's not. Let's talk about that grind. Canadians wake up every day to the same routine. Work, commute, bills, repeat. And for many, it feels less like living and more like grinding down. The hours are long, the pay is stagnant, the cost of everything keeps climbing, and the reward? Barely enough to cover rent, groceries, and utilities. It's not just physical exhaustion, it's emotional. People are tired of working harder and harder, only to feel like they're standing still. They're tired of sacrificing weekends, family time, and mental health just to keep up with a system that keeps moving the goalposts. And the irony? Canada is supposed to be one of the best places to live, but what does best mean when people are burning out, breaking down, and questioning whether they can afford to stay? This isn't laziness. This isn't entitlement. It's fatigue. Deep, relentless fatigue from a system that demands everything and gives back so little. And when exhaustion becomes the national mood, it's not just a personal problem. It's a collective crisis. Let's talk about survival mode. For many Canadians, life feels like survival mode. You work to pay rent. You work to buy food. You work to cover bills. And when all that's done, there's nothing left. No savings. No rest. No joy. Vacations? Out of reach. Home ownership? A fantasy. Even simple pleasures like going out for dinner or buying fresh produce feel like luxuries. So people cut back. They skip meals. They skip outings. They skip living. And slowly, the line between surviving and living disappears. The emotional toll is heavy. Stress builds, anxiety grows, burnout spreads, and people start asking themselves, is this really what life in Canada is supposed to be? Because when work consumes everything, when bills erase paychecks, when exhaustion replaces hope, life loses meaning. And that's why Canadians are tired. Not just tired from long hours, but tired of a system that makes living feel impossible. This isn't just about economics. It's about dignity, about the right to live without constant fear, without constant exhaustion, without constant struggle. And until that changes, the fatigue will only grow. Let's talk about dignity. Because that's what this crisis is really stealing. It's not just about money. It's about feeling human, feeling safe, feeling like you matter. And when you're constantly choosing between rent and food, when you're skipping meals, when you're hiding your struggles, it chips away at your soul. So if you're watching this and thinking, that's me, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. You're not failing. You're surviving a system that's failing you. And that's the truth. Politicians love to talk about resilience, about hard work, about sacrifice, but resilience isn't the point. People don't want to be resilient. They want to be secure. They want to be stable. They want to live without constant exhaustion. And right now, that feels out of reach. So let's stop pretending. Let's stop hiding. Let's stop accepting this as normal. because it's not normal. It's not normal to work full-time and still be broke. It's not normal to feel disposable in your own country. It's not normal to accept exhaustion as the price of survival. So what do? We start by seeing it, by naming it, by feeling it. We start by validating each other, by sharing stories, by refusing to be silent. Because silence is dangerous. It lets the crisis grow. It lets the system hide. It lets people suffer alone. But when we speak, when we share, when we connect, we begin to resist.